Welcome to this edition of kumar Bala's Tidbits with Wisdom on this Wednesday's edition. The other day I was reminiscing and watching some National Geographic program, and they showed the Rajasthani desert and how people were sitting on the camel and gracefully going across the desert, sitting on the ship of the desert. Suddenly, my mind went back to 1971 when I had just come out of college and had entered a job and was going for an interview to one of the famous copper companies in Rajasthan's Khetri. While it was a day off, I thought that I would roam around the place, and my host told me there's nothing better in life than sitting on a camel and enjoying the relaxed atmosphere at that height. And once you get used to it, you will want it more and more, like all good things. I fell for the bait. I immediately imagined that I was the Lawrence Arabia. I was going down the Nepean Desert and planning and killing people in the war. And following me was Omar Sharif, the bandit chieftain. And that really set me going. In fact, my better sense was defeated because of those silly thoughts. And were being 10 times heavier than Lawrence and Omar Sharif, I decided that I would pay for the ride. The camel driver was kind. He sort of realized that here was a goat for slaughter, and he invited me and asked me to take my time, bide myself, be sure, and then explained all the do's and don'ts when sitting on a camel. The camel, of course, knew its adversary and what it was in for, so it started grunting and eyeing me from side to side in the most suspicious manner. The Mahout sort of softened it by giving a lot of jaggery, which the camel unwittingly ate because it was fond of jaggery, but it could realize that it was in for something more devastating. After a while, the camel sort of decided that fate was against it, so it came down on its force, and it was still for me a height of nearly 6 feet to get up and sit on the camel. The kind camel driver brought a stool which was as rickety as possibly be. It had sort of seen all its best days, but somehow I scrambled on it and held the reins of the camel. I didn't realize what I was in for, but still, later, your discretion is always the better part of valor, but that did not apply to me at that very stage. I didn't realize that I had a full life ahead, that a serious injury would jeopardize my life and the lives of my well wishers and loved ones. But adventure at some stage of my life was necessary, and risk taking is what I had learnt in management school. So, therefore, I thought there's no harm in little risk. And a 200-pounder falling off a camel come onto the soft desert sands would hardly cause any problem. After all, I had jumped 2 feet when running full speed and jumping the high jump in my school, and came down crashing out to the sand pit. But there was no destruction on me because of that event. So, braved by all these facts and based on based on insanity, I took the next step, and my right foot went over the camel's hump, and sure enough, there was a most painful and terrifying sound of the trousers giving way. But I was brave. I said that since this is part of the adventure, and since I was wearing a kurta, maybe there wouldn't be any devastation to be seen or viewed till the time I got to the hotel. The camel now realized that there was no escape for it, so I slowly made myself comfortable on the camel. The seat was as best provided as possible, but with the peculiar shape of the camel's hump, it's very difficult to find exactly where your center of gravity is. So the the camel driver, kindly old man, said, "Okay, be ready. You just follow the camel, you don't go against it." He gave me an excellent lesson on life. Follow nature, don't go against the tide. It was absolutely philosophical and made me really realize that that man had so much wisdom in, as did the camel who was going to give me the lesson of my life. The first leg went up, the front leg went up, and I came and banged myself on the head of the camel. Somehow, sheer physical strength got me back to where I was. I said that I thank my maker